Good morning. I appreciate the words of that song so very much because of the focus of our month, as you heard, kinship with all life, and the idea that you and I are expressions, a child, of this universe and everything that it is. And how every blade of grass and every shaking leaf on the tree and every mountain top is announcing the glory of this kinship, and it moves through us. And with our dreams, we plant the seeds that are part of this creation's becoming. And furthermore, we are one with everything. The presence in you connects you to the presence that is in every being, in every person, in all of life. And your connection to life shows you that all of this is holy and that everything matters. And this is called oneness. And it causes you to see even how this place, this planet home of ours, matters. And your intuition guides you to love, because your intuition is this presence expressing its power through you. And you realize that your love is the power of the universe moving through all things. And so you do see all of the universe in everything, in every grain of sand, in every precious, unique being and person. And you see that all life is holy, that nothing is expendable, that nothing is pointless, that everything matters. Everything. Everything. And to keep your mind clear about that requires a special kind of attention. It's what we're talking about this month. Kinship, unity with all life. The idea that we can see this unity expressing through our connection with all life when we respect and honor the connectedness of all life. And today's topic is, and you can't disconnect from that, ever. Oh, we've selected a lovely book to guide us in reading this with some supplemental reading. It's An Unknown World by Jacob Needleman. And it's a beautiful exploration of what it means to be part of the same life that the earth is part of. And it's about how nature itself is a sermon, and how the earth is a sacred book, and how everything is holy in the sense that it is not separate and apart from us, but we are part of it. And in this book, he uses an important phrase, the quality of our attention. And he says that this is what matters. The quality of our attention. Quality in the sense of character, nature. The character and the nature of our attention matters. So is my attention deep, or is it shallow? Is my attention flippant, or is it mindful? Is my attention selfish, or is it soulful? So it's not only what is my attention on, but also what is the quality of that attention. Because he says, and we say, attention is creative. It is the difference between looking at something and looking at something and seeing it. Betty Edwards wrote a beautiful book, so many years ago, called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. It is a classic. It's a classic book that can teach almost anybody how to draw better. And the way she does it is by teaching people how to really look at something and to see it. And this one exercise, I'll never forget it. The exercise guides us to look only at the object that is being drawn and not at the drawing at all as you draw it. So you have to really completely look, 1/8 of an inch at a time. And it's amazing what you can produce. And it is amazing how an ordinary hand can become mind-boggling in its beauty and complexity. And it's amazing how a glass can be extraordinary, something that if you don't look, you may not see it. You've got to really look at it. I was talking to a friend of mine about how sometimes I don't look with that kind of attention when it comes to politics. I don't want to look that hard. And I was complaining a bit about the difficulty of really educating myself on the various candidates and their positions, so that come election day, I can make a decision that's good with my soul. But it makes my head hurt. All of that attention. It makes my head hurt to really think and to really look at the glass. And I start to feel tired because there's so much before one gets exhausted, so much to wade through and evaluate and to pay attention to. And I notice that I look for the easy way out. What are other people thinking? That may be good enough. And if enough of them are thinking that, maybe it's so. In the end, I never really see the glass. I only see what they thought about the glass. Maybe I can just think what other people think. This friend of mine I was talking to, and he's in journalism, he said to me, it's common knowledge that some people, he said some people, I say many people, he said it's common knowledge that some people only read the headlines of political stories, and then they form their opinion and position from that. And so their opinions can be influenced by crafting the correct headline, because they can be trusted to not go deeper. And because their attention is shallow, they can be controlled. So what is the quality of that kind of attention? Well, shallow, on the surface, choppy. And sometimes, I keep my attention there. I like it to be like that because I don't want to go deeper. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to know. Another friend of mine years ago, he challenged me once saying, Edward, if you knew how factory chickens are raised, you wouldn't eat them. I suspected he was right. And so it took me a very, very long time to really look into it. I didn't want to know. And eventually I did, and he was right. And that's when I became aware, if I don't look at something with quality attention, I can't separate myself from it. And if I'm separate from something, I don't feel with it. And that is the meaning of compassion. And if I have no compassion, I can treat it heartlessly. See, going deeper requires a special quality attention if you want more than what is on the surface of life, you can't settle for what is in the headlines. Similarly, with this topic, kinship with all life. On the surface, it's a beautiful idea. It's a headline. We love the world. We love nature. We're connected to it. But if you really look at it, 1/4 of an inch at a time, you see there is more. So much more to it. There's a deeper reality that goes something like this. And I cannot be disconnected from that, even if I don't want to think about it. You know, I think that's how racism was sustained in South Africa, the country of my birth, for so long. Because we were taught not to see it. And we were taught not to identify ourselves with other races, to keep it all apart. And you know, a person has to separate and disconnect from another person if you want to hate them, if you want to discriminate against them. Because the minute you feel or see your connection and oneness, that will interrupt the hatred. Here's another example of a good headline. I live here. It's wonderful. I do. And that's another thing that's worth really looking at, because there is something more also going on. If I look at it with quality of attention that is deep, 1/4 inch of a time, I can see not only do I live here, but I am part of here, wherever here is, and I can't ever separate myself from here. And what I put into this place, I put into me. That's what the book is pointing out. It makes the case that when I think of this earth as something separate from me, I may not be going deep enough. If I think of life as something separate from me, I may not be going deep enough. If I think of other beings as something separate from me, I may not be going deep enough. If I think of my life in terms of my success and my happiness and my personal gain and fulfillment, separate from everyone else's, I may not be going deep enough. There may be something also going on simultaneously deeper that I'm part of. We call that oneness, divinity. It's very important to us. That you can know about something and not see it. I want to read to you from the recommended book of the month on page 38, An Unknown World. And it's like poetry. He's written it like poetry. And you know the way of poetry is it takes its time to go in. You've got to just let the words wash over. What is the earth? Is it a thing? An object? To call it a thing or an object makes the earth too small. Smaller even than myself here now. A thing has no essential life. And as for an object, no. An object is something apart from me, other than me, also without essential life. Something I can use to serve my purposes, whatever they may be, or else something I can discard physically or in thought, or merely something I happen to be directing my attention to without implying anything at all about its nature or reality, or what kind of attention it requires and deserves from me. The earth is much greater than that, not only in size, but in in what? Greater in what sense? And here, the question insists itself. What quality of attention do I need to bring to this earth? Truly, as though it were a sacred book. The answer to that question will show us what we now desperately need to know about what the earth is. This question of what quality or level of attention I bring to whatever happens to be in my field of experience, this defining measure of reality has not been taught in our sciences or in our philosophies or religions. See, there's that phrase, the quality of attention I bring, or the level of attention I bring, and he calls it the defining measure of reality. Oh, I like that. If the quality of my attention is shallow, it defines my experience as shallow. If the quality of my attention is drama, it defines my experience as drama. If the quality of my experience is on the surface, and you know, there is always more going on. There is always more going on than what is on the surface, always. The other day I stumbled on an old favorite of mine, an animated video on YouTube of Dr. Seuss's Sneetches on Beaches. Maybe your children have seen that story and know it very well. Now, I got right into it, you know. So delightful, just loved it right away, you know. And if you don't know the story, it turns out that one group of Sneetches on the beaches have got stars on their stomach, right there on their belly. And the other group of Sneetches, they have none upon theirs. One reader. Now, the thing about the Sneetches with the stars on their belly, they feel superior about it. And so they discriminate against the other Sneetches. They don't invite them to parties. They don't include them. They don't let their kids play together. And they actually say some downright hateful things. And then this guy arrives, and he's got a machine that can put stars on bellies. And so the starless Sneetches, they jump at the opportunity to have a surgical procedure to get a star. But don't you know that doesn't fix anything? See, because racism depends on separateness and differences. So the originals with the stars on their bellies, they go to the same man with the same machine to have their stars removed. And it starts this merry-go-round of on again, off again, on again, until they've spent all of their money and now they don't know who is who. That's a lovely story about diversity and discrimination on the surface. But I noticed something even more. There's another level, something that taught me a lesson, and it's this. I got totally wrapped up in the drama of the Sneetches. It totally took over my attention and held my attention hostage at the level of the drama, and I forgot everything else, even to look deeper. I even forgot the beginning of the video, which is an important part. See, on the video version, the cat in the hat is on a boat, arriving at the beach, introducing the story, and he's singing a lovely song about how lovely the beach is. He says, oh, at the edge of each ocean, you'll always find beaches. Beautiful, glorious, glorious beaches. Where I meander on peacefulest beaches, I frequently find myself thinking of Sneetches. And right then, everything shifts direction. All of a sudden, all of the attention is on the Sneetches and their drama. No more beach poetry. Zip. No one cares about the environmental of this curious star belly machine and what it runs on. And no one talks about the ethics of cosmetic surgery for minors. No. The urgent drama of what is better and best is compelling and demanding, and I know I might be overthinking Dr. Seuss, but it pointed out to me how easily I can be controlled. How easily I can look at the surface and not search for the glass. I think the author of the book is making a similar point, saying to us to pay attention to what else is also going on here. In addition to the very real drama of nations and life's struggles, there is also simultaneously a reality here. He writes, "How can I have taken so long to see this? The earth is a sacred book, an ancient idea, found almost everywhere in the ancient worlds, from Egypt to the alchemists and esoteric visionaries of Judaism, Christianity and Islam, to the Taoism of China and the hidden doctrines and practices in the mountains of Tibet and in the surpassingly great cultures of India, to the powerful spiritual teaching of tribal cultures throughout the Americas, Africa, Asia. Nature in all its diversity as the signature of God, and indeed the language of God. A language that has both an inner and an outer meaning, like Scripture itself. Like Scripture itself, nature can be read in its outer literal meaning and at the same time intuited in the many levels of its symbolic, transcendent meaning, like Scripture itself, like the language of God itself. Nature, the earth, calls us to the heights and depths of uniquely human double perception, inner and outer simultaneously, drawing us outward to expression and engagement in the world, at the same time that it calls us upward and inward toward the silent inner self of God within. A sacred book of Scripture may have many levels, he says. On the surface, a list of rules. Below the surface, a description of the inner meaning of life, like the parables of Jesus, like the sower and the seed. On the surface, a cute story about good farming practices. Below the surface, a description of the workings of creative mind in the individual. And so it goes with our life also. Our lives on the surface, a story about family, success, career, wellness, self, all true. But below the surface, a deeper reality, sacredness, oneness. It's the deeper story. That's the rest of the story. That there is more to us than what is going on in our drama, that we have a relationship to and a responsibility to everything, including our planet home. The rest of the story, that when we turn our attention deeper to the immeasurable potential of our creative mind and the sacredness of all life, we can change the headlines. And sacredness demands a special quality of attention. It requires respect, reverence, and the willingness to look up from whatever is going on and ask the question, what else is also going on here? Everything is part of life. I am part of everything. Every being is part of life. I am part of every being. Everything is necessary. I am necessary. Everything is sacred. I am sacred. And there is no way to disconnect from that only in my surface thinking, but I can always go deeper and ask again, what else is also going on here? I'm a product of this universe. Every blade of grass, every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top speaks to that oneness. It moves through me. I plant seeds with my dreams. I'm one with everything. And the presence in me connects me to the presence in all beings, in all people, in all life. And it's this connection to all life that shows me how everything is holy and how everything matters. I call this oneness. And it causes me to see even this planet home I live on matters. And this presence within me, it is my own power to birth joy and gladness in the world. And it communicates with me through my own intuition. And my intuition guides me to love. And my love, I realize, is the power of the universe moving through me. Yes. I see the universe in every grain of sand, in every unique, precious being. I see life is holy. Nothing is expendable. Nothing is pointless. Everything matters. Everything. Everything. So I invite you to take a breath in with me and to exhale into a moment of quiet contemplation. In the infinity of life where we are, all is present in the form of spirit. That presence within is our connector to all that is. We bask in that, and we let the expanse of what it means become revealed to us as we move forward into the world. We are attuned through this prayer to the deeper truth and significance of our being. We are tuned to life. And in gratitude, we let it be. And together we say, and so it is.